Hey everybody, welcome back to A Better Computer. My name is Matt, and today we're doing a review of this, the Nest Audio from Google. Now, this is their $99 smart speaker. It just came out, and it kind of sits in the middle of their lineup next to the $50 Google Home Mini and the $300 Google Home Max. And so today I'm going to look at 6 different things about the speaker to kind of give you an idea of whether it's something worth your money. So thing number 1 is audio quality, right? This is the Nest Audio. This is focused around not just being a smart assistant, but being a good way to listen to things, and specifically music. And so how does it do for that? And so it does great, actually. For $99, I think it delivers really solid sound. It's not obviously going to be as good as something like the HomePod at $300 or the Google Home Max, but it's really solid, it's really clean, the audio sounds good from it. It's not going to get super loud, it's not going to fill like a giant hall or anything with music, but in an office like this, or in a bedroom, or most living rooms even probably, or kitchens, it's going to do great at filling the room with enough sound. I'm not a professional audio person, so I won't go into too many more details than that, but to my ears, I think it sounds good. It certainly sounds good enough for what you paid for it. I think it's punching a little bit above its weight class. In terms of usability with music, it's kind of a mixed bag. If you're on Android, it's great, and you can use it with basically any music app. And if you use Spotify, Google Play Music, YouTube Music, Deezer, or Pandora for your music, then you're going to be able to just ask it to do things. You can go into the Google Home app and set that as your default music player, and it'll just play from your library. If you're on iOS or an Apple Music subscriber, it's not quite as good because on iOS, basically no audio apps support casting. It's kind of annoying there. And Apple Music on iOS won't send audio to it at all. Apple Music on Android actually will cast, because any good Android app will cast. And so you can cast from there, but you can't use it to just ask it to play something from your Apple Music library. Next up is spoken word stuff, so podcasts and books. And so from this perspective, it's actually better and worse. So on the better side, I actually really like how voices sound from the speaker. In general, I actually prefer the sound of podcasts and books on mid-range speakers rather than super high-end ones. For whatever reason, I actually enjoy listening to podcasts more on this guy than I do on my HomePod. Even though the HomePod has better sound quality, can do more, has much better bass and all that stuff, I prefer to listen to podcasts on this. I don't know why. Maybe it's because there's less bass and the voices kind of pop a little bit more. Whatever the reason, I think it sounds really good on here. The challenge is getting that content onto it. So if you're playing podcasts, you have to do it from Google Podcasts, which odds are you're not using for your podcast listening, so you're not going to sync your position in episodes. You're not going to be able to mark episodes as played. It's not going to be able to go through your queue. That's annoying. If you're on Android, you can of course cast from whatever Pocket Casts or whatever podcast app you're using, you can do that. On iOS, Pocket Cast is the only one I know of that actually supports casting, so that's going to be frustrating for iOS users. On the book side, there's basically no book stuff, so you can't just say, resume my book that I'm currently reading or anything to the speaker and it'll do that. It doesn't do that. So again, on Android, you can cast from your book player. All the mainstream ones have it. On iOS, none of them do. So that's a limitation there for iOS users. And is it good as a smart speaker? Well, it's a Google Assistant speaker, so you kind of know what you're getting into. So if that's what you're looking for and you're looking for one with good audio, but you don't want to break the bank, I think this is a great buy. At $99, it delivers solid sound and all the smarts of Google Assistant. Now, of course, buying a speaker like this gets into privacy, gets into security, so you have to consider that. But if you're already okay with Google having a speaker like this in your home, then you've kind of already made peace with that and you know kind of where your priorities are. And that's fine. I think that if you do want to be a little more privacy conscious, a little more security conscious, Google does have some tools in the Home app where you can tell it whether to save your recordings or not. It has some stuff with deleting your history. And then even if you are just talking to it, you can ask it to delete the last thing it said, or that you said to it, which is pretty nice. Then let's talk design. How does this thing look? I think it looks really good. It comes in 5 different colors. I've got kind of the green one. It also comes in blue, pink, white, and black. Google has their fun names for them, of course. But I think that the design, this kind of fabric-y material, feels really good. It feels really solid. It's not too big, so it fits in most places really nicely. It's just a really nice looking speaker. If I had to complain about anything at all, there's a slight seam that kind of goes along the middle of the speaker, which I don't love, but isn't a deal breaker by any means. It's just me grasping at straws. I think it looks really nice, and with the colors that are available, hopefully you can get one that fits nicely into the room you're putting it into. So I was going to do a big section here on how it compares to the competition. I wanted to compare it to the Sonos One, which is $200, the HomePod, which is $300. And they really threw a wrench in it. Yesterday, Apple announced the HomePod Mini, which is also $99 specifically. So I'm not going to do much here. I will say that in terms of sound quality, I think that if you know what a HomePod sounds like, if you know what a Sonos One sounds like, and you know kind of the price points of those, $300, $200, and this is $100, that's kind of where the audio quality lies. The HomePod is the best of those three. The Sonos One is a little worse, but still great. And then this one is good, but it's definitely not as good as those other speakers. So should you buy this? That's the big question. Is you could save 50 bucks or even like 70 bucks when it's on sale and get a Google Home Mini, and that's going to be a lot less expensive. It's going to get you all the smart home stuff, but the audio quality is not going to be good. You can spend more and get something like the Google Home Max or the Sonos One, which you can activate Google Assistant on, and so then it's a Google Assistant speaker with all the Sonos stuff on top of it. I think that if you're using Android, this is a really good speaker. I think it's a really good option. It integrates to basically every app on your phone through Chromecast support, and a lot of the default services that it works with are ones that you're probably using already, so you may not even need to use your phone in a lot of cases. It works well with the Google ecosystem. It's really nice. It's really well made. Like I said, looks good, sounds good, has a lot going for it. If you're on the iOS side, I really don't recommend it as strongly. I think that you can still enjoy it. I think you can still get a lot of value out of it, just using Google Assistant, using it to play music. It does a good job there, but I would really lean you more towards the HomePod if you're all in on Apple, and then especially that HomePod Mini I think is going to be really appealing. And then I think the dark horse here is the Sonos One. The Sonos One is $200. It sounds great, better than this, but not as good as a HomePod. And you can also activate Google Assistant on it. And it also supports AirPlay too. So if you get a Sonos One, you get a speaker that sounds great. You get all the Sonos integrations and magic that they do, but you also get Google Assistant, or Alexa if you want, but Google Assistant is really the one I go with. You can activate Google Assistant on that, so you get all the great smart home stuff that Google Assistant offers, and you get AirPlay too, which means you can cast audio from your iPhone to it super easily. So it's kind of the best of all worlds. So if you're on an iPhone, I would really wait until the HomePod Mini comes out to see if that suits your needs. And then if you really want Google Assistant but want it to work nicely with your phone, look at the Sonos One. I really think that's a good buy for a lot of people. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this review relatively brief and helpful. If you liked it, hit the thumbs up button. If you loved it, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching this video and all the other videos that I've been making. It's Techtober or whatever they call it, so there's gonna be a lot more videos coming up. I'm gonna be doing stuff on the iPhone, especially once that's new, gonna have a lot of content around that. So please subscribe and keep watching here on A Better Computer. Thank you so much again. Bye-bye.